All right guys, so now we are in the Fusion page. There are honestly so many things that you can do inside of the Fusion page, but they're all very specific to whatever video you're working on. I would say that most of the time, for most edits, you're not even gonna need to go inside the Fusion page at all. Like this page has very, very similar functionality to that of After Effects, so it wouldn't be worth it for me to try and go over everything in this video when I'm just here to show you my general workflow. So here's what we're gonna do. Like I mentioned in the previous video, I'm gonna be adding more niche videos down to the bonus section below. So there we can go in depth on specific effects like masking and other transitions. But for right now, in this video, I'm just gonna show you the very basic concept of Fusion by adding a little piece of text to the end of our video. Now you can actually add text a lot easier right here in the edit page just by going over to titles. And you can kind of drag and drop your title wherever you want on your timeline. That's obviously the recommended way, but I'm showing you how to do it in Fusion only because I want you to see how the Fusion page works. And this was the most basic example I could think of using. Okay, so just to show you what I want to do on the last clip of this sequence, bam, so the camera whips to black. What I wanna do for this example is I want to have a piece of text that says a film by Landon By The Way that pops up right here on this black screen. So we whip to black, bam, a film by Landon By The Way. Quick text to show that it's the end of the video and so people know who made the video, you know. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm still in the edit page by the way. I'm gonna go up to my media pool right here. So we have it selected already. I'm gonna hit master. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna hit new Fusion composition. The reason I'm doing a new Fusion composition is because I just want text with a black background. I don't want to like select a clip and then add text on top of it. So I need a blank black composition for Fusion. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that. This is what we just created. I'm gonna click and drag it and place it just right at the end of my timeline, just behind the last clip. Then I'm going to put my playhead over it. You'll see it's just a black screen. And we're gonna jump back over to Fusion. Now this is gonna be the first time inside the course that we've seen nodes. And there's gonna be a full video just talking about nodes because this is kind of a hefty topic in itself. It's one of those concepts that are just kind of hard to grasp, but all you really need to know about nodes right now is that they are the equivalent to layers, like what we'd see in After Effects or really any other editing program. So nodes are essentially a recipe for DaVinci Resolve to follow. So we'll be connecting different assets like a background and a text to then create our final composite, which is this media out right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and click and drag this to the right because with nodes, you're working from left to right. And then I'm gonna jump up to this little icon right here. This is a background node, so I'll just click and drag it down here. And the next thing I'm gonna do is click on this little gray box, click and drag, and I'm just going to connect it to this yellow arrow right here, which is the input for our media out node. So what I've done is I've just connected this plain black background to our media out node. So if it helps, imagine we're in After Effects or another editing program. This is the equivalent of just having a black layer on our timeline and just a black layer, nothing else is above it. That's it. And now we're gonna go ahead and grab a text node right here. I'm just gonna click and drag it down onto the yellow line. So this line's gonna turn blue. That means you can drop it right there and it's automatically gonna add that text into our little node tree. That's what this is called, a node tree. Now don't be too thrown off by anything here. This is just like adding another layer to our composition. And I'll talk more about merge nodes and other types of nodes in a later video, but a merge node is essentially just instruction for Fusion to add this new text box to the final output. Okay, so I'll select that text node and then I'll jump over to the right panel right here. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my text, a film by, perfect. I'm also gonna change the font just so it matches my branding a little bit. Maybe I'll do Avenir next. Let's do ultra light. I'm gonna just make it a little bit smaller right there. I'm also gonna grab another text node. I'm gonna drop it right here as well. Organize this so you can kind of see what's happening. I'm gonna do the same thing with this text node. I'm just gonna add my name this time. I'm doing this because I want a film by that text and Landon By The Way on separate lines. Perfect. Once again, I'm gonna change the font just a little bit. Very nice, change the size. And by the way, you're gonna notice that because this node is on the left side of the node tree and this node is on the right side, our text, land and by the way, this text is actually covering up the first text, a film by. So instead of working with layers where it's vertical, you're adding a layer on top of another layer and then another layer on top of that layer, you're working from left to right. So you start with a background, then you add a layer essentially on the right side of it, and then you add another layer on the right side of it, and then finally you get your final media output. So now to adjust these texts, I can go ahead and have text 2 selected. You'll see there's these little red arrows right here to move it left and right, move it up and down. I'm gonna click on this and move it down just a bit. I'm gonna click on text 1, and I'm gonna move this one up a little bit. I'm also gonna change the size so that's a little bit smaller. And now if we jump back to our editing page, you'll see that the composition we just made inside Fusion is now on the editing page. So now we can adjust that clip, make that as long as we want. We can even go and add a little cross dissolve at the end if we want it to fade out. Let's play that back, see what it looks like. Very nice. I need the text to just pop up a little bit sooner. I'm gonna trim this clip right about here. I'm gonna lock this, use the W key just to trim that. Very nice. Okay, so if the whole node tree thing is confusing in any way, it's okay, I get it. It took me a while for that to click as well. It looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. And actually in the next video, we're gonna be using nodes again in the color page, so you might as well embrace it. It's really just one of those concepts that might take a little while to click. That pretty much wraps up the Fusion page though. In the next video, we're gonna jump over to the color page and color correct and color grade our footage.